Hey everybody, welcome back. I have something different for you today. A little bit lighter, but still very complex. There's a lot of words and a lot of things going on the stack. I'm going to kind of call this type of a series curated cursory combos. I love alliteration. Who doesn't? This is just kind of taking a look at how cards are built and kind of some of these intended combinations between models in your keyword. Returned is one of the new favorites at the moment. I'm super intrigued by it. I love the theme. And so let's take a look at this a little bit further. The whole goal of what I'm trying to do on this combination is getting 3 shielded on your Urn Bearer. So the Urn Bearer can then do the 4 heal and a focus bonus action. In front of you is just a general list. I don't know. I've got 7 stones coming in here. This is Kastore number 1. But the required models here are Athorak is absolutely required, Urn Bearer because we need to empty the urns, and Gwyll. I also have a blood vessel in here for backup, and then just we don't really care about Cavern Nephilim, Enslaved Spirit, or anything else. This is just, like I said, a sample. Here's some notes on how to make it just work with Athorak. You can go ahead and pause and read that at your leisure. Let's dig into the cards, though. So Athorak, what do we care about Athorak? Athorak has black blood, which can be helpful. Eat the Kithe is actually probably the main unlock here. When a friendly model within 4-inch aura heals in excess, or they overheal, they may gain shielded +1. Faith in the Flesh is the keyword ability across return, and it's a lot, so I'm just going to read this one verbatim. When this model activates, it may suffer 1 damage to have another friendly returned model within 4-inch aura heal 1. Additionally, if this model would heal in excess of its maximum health, it may move up to 2 inches. So move is pretty cool. It's not a push, so that means since it's a move, you get to finesse your way around models, you get to go around corners, all sorts of cool things there. The other piece on Athorak's card is regen, so he's always going to go ahead and proc his own Itikithe just for activating, which is kind of cool. I really like that. And then we'll move into the next model here, Urn Bearer. Empty the urn is really what we're going for, right? So reduce this model's shielded condition by 3. Friendly returned only. Those are the requirements or the costs that must be paid. And then the target heals 4 and gains focused 1. That's probably one of the best heals in the game outside of like 5 heal blood poison or something like that. Urn Bearer, what we care about, Faith in the Flesh. We've read that one already. Fill the urns. So whenever the Urn Bearer sees somebody else, or whenever the Urn Bearer itself heals in excess, the Urn Bearer gains shielded 1. So let's slow that down, read that out verbatim. When a friendly returned model within 4-inch aura would heal in excess of its maximum health, this model gains shielded +1. Second sentence, if this model would suffer damage from black blood, it instead gains shielded +1. That's also really important for one of the ways that we can accomplish empty the urn. And the other really important thing on the front of the Urn Bearer's card is pools of blood. So we don't really care about the first sentence, which is just hazardous terrain for enemies within 2. However, the second sentence says, additionally, once per activation, after another friendly return ends a move within 2-inch aura, that model may heal 1. Now this is after another friendly, so Urn Bearer cannot just take a walk, heal 1, overheal, take and go crazy with the dominoes. So this has to be somebody else. But we'll get into how all of these interact, and it's gonna be a lot. Gwyll is the third model, which is Cling to Death. We really only care about this. Again, though, Line of Sight, I come back to Line of Sight. Really, really, really strong. I love it. When a friendly return model in Line of Sight heals, it may choose to reduce the heal to 0, and if it does so, it's treating as overhealing. So if Gwyll has Line of Sight on you and you are targeted with any kind of a heal, you can turn it into 0 and get your overheal mechanic, which is what Returned is just all about. So let's take a look at the board that I've got set up here. Just random map and Vassal. This is not an unpack, so we're just going to just assume this is kind of the board state. This is what it looks like. We got Marathine way over here, but the models we care about are right here in the middle. So Bubble Crew, they got to be within 4, with the exception of Gwyll, who's just needing to see line of sight. So what I'm going to show you today is going to be kind of how to fill the urns 3 ways. The first way, we're going to go ahead and start with Athorak. The second way, we're going to fill it with the Blood Vessel. And the third way, we're going to do it just like full Thanos style. Urn Bearer is just going to I'm going to do it myself and go ahead and fill her own urns. So let's start with Athorak. So Athorak has regen 1. Now Athorak overheals. Let's actually put some damage on Athorak. We'll give him 1 ping damage, and we'll leave the Urn Bearer kind of at 6. So let's just say, all right, so Gwyll has line of sight on Athorak and the Urn Bearer. Athorak activates. Regen 1 kicks in. Gwyll sees it, says, go ahead and just treat this as an overheal, but don't heal yourself anything. Itakithe goes off, says, you overheal. You are the model that is overhealing. You get to shielded 1. Fill the Urns says, anybody within 4 inches, if I see you, I get to get shielded 1. So Athorak's regen gives both of them shielded 1. Second part that's on the stack right now is Faith in the Flesh, because Athorak overhealed. Athorak gets to move 2 inches. So we're going to move 2 inches. That ends the move within 2 inches of the Urn Bearer, which is what this aura is. And that procs Pools of Blood. Pools of Blood lets another friendly returned heal 1 if they end a move within 2. Well, Gwyll sees that, and we're going to just do the shielded 1 trick one more time. Shielded, Itakithe because I overhealed as Athorak, Urn Bearer because Urn Bearer saw somebody within 4 overheal. And then the last thing that's still waiting to resolve is the when this model activates part of Faith in the Flesh. So Athorak can now take 1 damage. So we're going to reduce our shielded. We're going to heal the Urn Bearer. Gwyll sees it, turns it into an overheal. So the Urn Bearer's heal of Fill the Urns says whenever the model overheals, you get to get shielded 1. Athorak's Itakithe says whenever a model overheals within 4, that model gains shielded 1. So Urn Bearer gets shielded 4, and this is just for existing. Athorak hasn't even taken an action yet. So with those 3, and here, as always, this is our triangle. We've got Gwyll, Athorak, and Urn Bearer. We've just filled the urns. Athorak and the Urn Bearer both have additional 2-inch moves available to them because of their overheals from Faith in the Flesh. So at this point, we can just move Athorak if we want. I'm going to leave everything else here. So that is Athorak filling the urns, actions, everything there done. Let's move on to number 2. Second way to do this. We're going to need a hand for this, so why don't we just shuffle up. Draw some cards, burn a card for initiative as usual. And all we really require is at least a moderate in our hand. So let's take a look at playing with the Blood Vessel now. So the Blood Vessel is within 4 inches of both Athorak and the Urn Bearer, and within line of sight of Gwyll. Blood Vessel will activate. Faith in the Flesh goes off. We take 1 damage. We heal a friendly returned within 4 inches, and that's going to be your Urn Bearer. Gwyll turns that into an overheal. Guarantee, so that will proc, fill the urns. I overhealed, so I get it shielded. Athorak sees the Urn Bearer overheal, says if you want, go ahead and take another shielded from Itakithe. So now for our first activation, we're going to go ahead and charge. We charge the Urn Bearer. 1, 2 is enough to get into here. Before we do any swings or any cards, we're going to do the Pool's Blood. We will heal 1, but Gwyll turns that into a 0 heal and treats it as an overheal. So that means Athorak gives the Blood Vessel shielded 1, and then the Urn Bearer sees the Blood Vessel overheal, and the Urn Bearer gets shielded 1 off of Fill the Urns. And then we do our damage flip. So this is just a swing at a stat 4. Of course, we're going to relent. And the ceremonial weaponry on the Blood Vessel reads, just bring it over here for you. If the target is a friendly return model, which it is, it instead heals a 0-1-2 flip, ignoring any negative or positive modifiers. We relented, which allows us to cheat, which is pretty neat. We flip 1 card. We just top deck the Severe. If we didn't, we would go ahead and cheat in a 7 to make sure that we have a heal that would proc. So we actually don't even have to because we already have Urn Bearer at shielded 3, but I like to make sure that we get a heal in here. That way, if your opponent goes and they ping off some shielded, it's less of a headache to deal with. So now we're going to do that moderate, which is a heal of 1. Gwyll sees it, says, you know what? Treat it as an overheal. I overheal. Athorak sees me overheal. I get another shielded. I end up with 5 shielded. Not to mention, I can now scoot for 2 inches if I want, and the Blood Vessel has an additional turn to go. So that's neat. Let's say, okay, we do that. Let's make sure that we want to empty the urns over on Kastore because that's going to be great. Finally, let's make sure our Blood Vessel ends out of here. Our opponent goes and they dispel magic on our Urn Bearer. We got 5 shielded. It's gone. That sucks. So let's do it ourselves. Urn Bearer will activate. We do Faith in the Flesh. We take 1 damage. We're gonna overheal a Blood Vessel because Gwyll sees it happen. Urn Bearer sees an overheal happen, gets a shielded to start it off. The Blood Vessel will move somewhere within 2 inches of the Urn Bearer. The Blood Vessel will overheal. Gets a shielded from Athorak. Urn Bearer sees the Blood Vessel overheal. We get a shielded from that. We're at 2 shielded. We can't walk into our own pools of blood, so we actually have to swing. We're going to swing on the Blood Vessel. Blood Vessel is a model that has black blood, and we need to make sure that we're within an inch when we do our charge, and if our goal is to hit Kastore, let's just make sure we bubble ourselves up nicely. So we attack, relents, we do 3 cards, pick the worst. What a flip that is. However, we don't have to take the red joker, and we're not gonna. Our damage track is 233. We're gonna take that 2, and because we got some shielded earlier, we're gonna take 1 off of that, and then go down to 3 wounds. Because we took damage, we now spread out black blood, which gives us our 3rd shielded. Went the wrong direction. Now we have 3 shielded on our Urn Bearer during the Urn Bearer's activation. It's, yeah, we're there. We hit it. And then we can empty the urn on whoever we want. Like I said, we're going to just dump it on Kastore, give him an overheal focus. This crew return probably has the most amount of actions stacked at any given time than anything I've seen of note or of recently. I haven't really dug into every keyword can, or I haven't yet. But this one, it seems like 1 overheal will cascade 6 different reactions. Moves, heals, overheals. Gwyll has line of sight. everything is it's a lot to hold in your head. So the more you practice this, the better you'll get at it. You can pretty much always get 3 shielded on the Urn Bearer no matter what. As somebody in the Discord said, it's super easy and it's barely an inconvenience, which is one of my favorite memes out there. I hope you learned something. I hope you can take this with you. It's pretty versatile, and I hope it unlocked something. So enjoy the new series and let me know what you think. I have a new Discord. I'm over in the Pacific Northwest Discord now. So if you haven't seen that, go get the link in the description of the video.